Hey, boxing fans, what do you say? What do you know? What are you doing? Old school saying here again. Haven't been around for a while, been busy. All good, though. I want to talk to you tonight about the Kambosos Haney fight that's coming up tomorrow. This is a good one. This is a real interesting one. Giving it some thought, looked at a few of their fights, and I think it's going to be a compelling fight. First of all, I got to tell you my bias right off the bat. I'm rooting for Devin Haney to win the fight. He's, obviously he's an American kid, number one. And number two, I like him. He's a good kid. I watched some of the interviews between him and Kambosos. Now, I don't know if Kambosos is playing around and, doing the shtick thing, trying to build up the fight. But I don't like his attitude. I don't like the cocky bullshit. It's just that I don't like it. And Haney handled it really well. He seems like a humble kid, just going there to do his job and get it done. And I have a lot of respect for that. Now the fight itself, is a little bit of a different story. I haven't watched a lot of these guys' fights, but I've watched. Today I spent some time going through some video on the guys and watching some of their fights. Um, Haney kind of surprised me a little bit. He's obviously got really good skills. He's long, he's lean, he's smart. He's a pretty good combination puncher. He's got a nice jab. Um, but it looks to me like he doesn't use his advantages the way that he should. I was watching him against, I think, the Jojo Diaz fight, and I was surprised to see him kind of pull with the jab instead of snapping it out there and using it to keep the smaller guy off. It looked like he was loading up on the right hand, and really making himself far too easy to hit. I was expecting more of a type of fight where he would use his some lateral movement and get his guy on the end of that jab, keep him at bay, but and fire off more combinations with a little bit more movement. But that's not what I saw. So I don't know if that's his mo or that's the way that he fought in the Diaz fight. But I was kind of concerned. Um, he's got skills. There's no two ways about it. Now power. He's got enough power. He's got pop in his punch, but he doesn't have the kind of power that's going to knock you out. And I don't see him throwing tremendous combinations either. In that fight, at least he was loading up on the right hand. Like I said, he wasn't using the jab as a weapon. He was using it as more of sort of like a range fighter, almost pawing with it, which kind of surprised me. When he did dig to the body, it looked like he went to the body pretty well. I didn't like the game plan for the fight. He was fighting a much shorter guy, a guy who didn't have a whole lot of power. I would think that he would want to keep him on the end, at the end of the jab, create his own geography, his own territory where he could hit and not be hit, where he can land big shots at the end of his punches. But that's not what he did. I mean, he won the fight, but I wasn't totally impressed with the way that with the game plan for the fight. He's obviously a skilled guy. I'm hearing some other commentators talk about him and Kambosos, and they're saying that he's the speedier guy. I don't know. Kambosos is a pretty quick guy, but Haney's a question mark in my mind. His chin, he's gotten hit. He's never been down. He's gotten hit a few times on the chin and gotten wobbled, but he looks like he's a relatively durable guy, and I don't think Kambosos is the kind of guy who's got the kind of power that's going to knock him out anyway. So I'm not sure that matters too much. But I'm impressed with the guy, but I don't like the way he approaches fights. Again, I haven't watched a lot of them. I focused mostly on the Diaz fight, and that was definitely I was looking at the fight, saying to myself, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Um, Anyhow, as far as Kambosos is concerned, um, you know, he's a tough kid. There's no doubt about it. He's game. You look at him in the Lopez fight. Lopez is a much bigger, stronger guy than Haney. Knew how to really use his jab. You want to look at a guy who knows how to use the jab. Look at Lopez. Now Lopez, they say, was off that night or whatever. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. You're fighting in Madison Square Garden. This is your first defense, your first title defense. There's no excuses. He got beat fair and square. I'd be probably on, maybe he underrated the guy. Didn't think Kambosos was going to be able to hang with him because when you look at the two guys side by side, Maron, Lopez is a big freaking guy, and Kambosos, is not a big, bulky, strong, lightweight. But anyway, the thing that impressed me with Kambosos is first of all he's got some speed. He's got some good quick hands. Um, he's he's tough as freaking nails. He's got a really really good motor, and he looks like he's got a dynamite chin because he got hit with some shots by Lopez, and really, he went down, got right back up, but got hit with shots, during the course of the fight that I thought, with several occasions where it wasn't just one shot, it was, right hand, left hook, square on the chin, and this is from a guy who could punch and he didn't go down. So I was impressed with that. But he's got good skills. He's got a good quick jab. He's not a kind of guy who's going to show you all kinds of angles, but he's got good solid head movement. He works his way inside, works the body pretty well. Um, to me, the most impressive thing about the guy is his motor, his toughness, and he's got a solid chin. So this is the way I see the fight going. I think what's going to happen is that early on, Haney's going to come out and try to establish his jab. I think that would be the game plan anyway, even though that's not what he did in the Diaz fight. I would think against this guy, he's going to try to use that jab to keep Kambosos, off balance. If he doesn't, I think it's a stupid fight for him. I really do because I think Kambosos has too much energy, too much of a motor for Haney, who's more or less a pot shot kind of guy. He picks his spots. He's smart, but I think he'll just get outworked if he tries to fight the type of fight that he did against Diaz. So I'm thinking he's going to try to use that jab a little bit more, try to create some range and distance. He's got a 3-inch reach, I think, over Kambosos. He's the bigger guy. They're both listed at 5'9", but I think Haney's a bigger guy. I think he probably has a little bit more punching power. I'm not really impressed with Kambosos' punching power. But the way I see the fight going on, I think early rounds that Haney, if he's smart, kind of establishes the jab, uses his reach to his advantage. But as the fight goes on, I think Kambosos' energy level is just going to be too much. He's going to slip. He's going to get inside. He's going to work the body. He's going to counter, and he's going to nail Haney with some good counters. I don't see neither one of these guys getting really hurt or knocked down in the fight. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's going to be a fight that goes the distance. But I think as we get into the championship rounds, if you look at the Lopez fight, I was very impressed with the way Kambosos was able, after getting knocked down later in the fight, to be able to get right back on his feet and fight with a lot of energy right through the last round. He won the last round. The scorecards, I thought the guy whoever was calling the fight had it a 1 point fight fight going into the last round, which I think was absurd. But still, he was able to sustain and fight actively right, through the 12th round. So I think what's going to happen in this fight is the fight's going to be relatively close to 8 or 9 rounds, and then I think Kambosos' motor is going to take over. And he's going to win a decision in the fight. I think that's just the way it's going to go. I think it's going to be a good fight. I'm going to watch it. I think it's going to be worthwhile. But I got to tell you, I got some frustration over this fight game because this is crazy. Do you know tomorrow night there's going to be crowned an undisputed champ in the lightweight division? Now, you take a guess. You tell me when do you think the last time we had an undisputed lightweight champion of the world? The 2020s? No. The 2010s? No. The 2000s? No. 1994 or 96, I can't remember. And the last guy, Pernell Whitaker, last guy to hold the undisputed lightweight crown. That is absurd. It's a disgrace to the game. This has turned into like a Barnum and Bailey circus. Oh, what are we doing here? She's a race to me for crying out loud. The fight game, what the heck is going on? You got champions today. You got 6 or 7 guys in these divisions. They're holding all these freaking crowns, right? Who's the real champ? Who the heck is the real champ? You got guys getting pay-per-view events. You got guys making all kinds of money, right? And they're not even legitimate, in my book, not even legitimate champions. Who's deciding who the champions are? These clowns, other clowns like me. Maybe I'm a clown on you now. I don't know. Have all these boxing channels, and they're arguing about who the champion is. You know what? You find out who the champ is in the ring, and it just doesn't happen anymore, and it's a damn shame. On the other hand, it's good that these fighters, I know these guys. They get in there and they put their lives on the line. It's a tough game, and I guess on one hand, maybe it's good. These guys are making money. You got a lot of guys that are making a lot of money, and that's good. I guess that's good for the sport. It's good for them. I don't know if it's good for the sport. It's good for the boxers, but I don't think it's good for the sport. It's something that kind of irks me. So, anyway, that's my take on the fight. Just want to let you know I'm going to come out with a video pretty soon. I gave this a lot of thought. I've I'm kind of a boxing historian, and I've gotten a lot of arguments with people about who the best fighters were. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break 3 20-year periods down. Actually 30-year periods down. I'm going to segregate them and kind of contrast and compare. I'm going to talk about the boxing atmosphere, the competitive atmosphere, the kind of guys you had fighting, the kind of venues that were available for guys to fight, what some of the limitations were, and I'm going to compare and contrast those time frames, and I'm going to take a look at some of the fighters in each one and compare them to each other, and come up what I think was the best time frame for boxing. I'm looking right now possibly 40s, 50s, 60s, 67. Excuse me, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then from the 90s right up until today. But I'm looking forward to doing that. I think that's going to be an interesting video. Anyway, that's my take on this fight that's coming up. And let's see what happens. But I hope you guys are doing okay. No, I haven't spoken to you in a while. I hope your families are doing well, healthy, prosperous. Everybody's doing really, really well. Things are good here. Thank God. Thank the Lord above that things are going well. And until we meet again, remember what my father used to say. He used to say, Joseph, remember, you're going to get knocked out in life, no matter what happens. You get up off your ass and you continue throwing punches till you can't no more. That's what he used to say to me. And that's what I'm telling you. Life is tough. Hang in there and do the best that you can. Again, love you all. Peace out. Old school saying here. Take care, my friends.